Welcome back to the Everything College Football Podcast. Today we're going to be reacting to the Notre Dame-Florida State game. Took center stage on Sunday night. Notre Dame outlasted the Seminoles in Tallahassee by a score of 41-38. It was a fun game. I had no real expectations heading into it. I was really excited to see how this new-look Florida State team performed. I didn't have a pick on this game. I would have leaned Notre Dame, though. I felt like this running game probably would have took center stage in Tallahassee. I feel like it would have been very strong behind a newly revamped but veteranized offensive line. It was kind of the complete opposite, though. Jack Cohen was on fire all game long. He was dealing 335 yards, 4 touchdowns. That one pick came off a Hail Mary at the end of regulation. He was tearing up that Florida State man coverage. Joe Wilkins, Kelvin Austin, the receivers, they made some great plays. I was interested to see who would step up, not just on offense, but as defense as well for Notre Dame. Those two guys right there really stepped up. Michael Mayer at tight end, he had a phenomenal game. He's one of the nation's best at his position. 9 grabs for 120 yards and a touchdown. He had 2 key drops. He needed to stay more focused because they were very important. First quarter, he had a 4th down drop. They would have moved the chains. Then another right before time expired. It would have had them in field goal range. So Mayer, those are 2 very key drops. Very young players. He gets older, though, those are plays you're going to have to make because they're going to lean on him all year long. He's going to be their top tight end. He's going to be their chain mover. So he needs to be more focused and come down with those. It was really shocking to see Notre Dame, though. They had no running game whatsoever. 35 carries for 65 yards. Kyron Williams had a couple big plays. I know he had a long reception. And Chris Tyree, he was pretty efficient at 4.4 yards per carry. He had a score as well. But overall, these guys had no penetration. They were getting dominated really in the trenches. Blake Fisher at left tackle checked out. He didn't play he missed all of the second half. It might have been more. I'm not sure when he left in the second quarter, if he did at all. But after that left side was giving them problems. In pass protection, they couldn't hold up. They couldn't run the ball very well either. The Florida State defensive line was very feisty, though. Jermaine Johnson, the number 1 JUCO transfer, former Georgia product. He was a complete game wrecker all night long. Good penetration, especially early on. He made his presence felt. Expected he would be the kind of the leader on this defense, since he's probably one of the most talented on what is a very, very young unit for Florida State. A lot of young guys on that defense. And Johnson, he stepped up, made a lot of good plays all night long. But as we said, the secondary, their man coverage was just getting toasted all night long. They really held up, though, on the ground. It was very impressive to see them in the trenches. It wasn't just on defense, though. They didn't just bottle up the running game. They ran the ball very well up front on their side. If you look at the first 2 drives for Florida State, started with negative yardage. Their offensive line was just getting pummeled up front. They could not do anything. They couldn't protect the quarterback. They couldn't run the ball. It was just like, wow, this is going to be a long night for Florida State. The third drive starts off. Jashawn Corbin houses it for 89 yards. They gave him some life, and after that, they kind of came into their own. Jordan Travis, the starting quarterback, he was good and his bad. His elusiveness has always been a big part of his game. It was certainly last year. And he had numerous plays where they were positives, though. He had 2 touchdowns where he was able to evade. There was one on 3rd and goal, and another one where on the bootleg he kept, and he was able to outrace the defense to the pylon. So there's good and bad to Jordan Travis's game. These guys, they really fed off the big plays of the 89-yarder. A few drives later, Travis hooked up with Douglas for the 60-yard passing touchdown. Altogether, they had 3 interceptions. One of them was off a strange 4th down attempt in the third quarter. They went for it, and they went for it at their own 30-yard line, and he just trying to make a play, and he threw a pick there. And then Kyle Hamilton, he made big plays on the other 2. So he turned the ball over. Overall, this passing attack wasn't really effective downfield other than that big play right there. They had troubles getting it to their playmakers when Travis was in there. But again, he did have positives to his game, and that's a big reason why they were in this contest. Late in the fourth quarter, Mackenzie Melton, he finally checked in. Haven't seen him play since that catastrophic knee injury in 2018. He provided a big spark to this offense. They didn't have it all night. Let him right downfield. I think he was 4 of 4, 5 of 5 on that drive. Complete all of his passes. And they were able to score. It was very different. They didn't have that all night long. He completed 2 very crucial downfield passes. I think they went for more than 15 yards. Milton, he's probably going to be the starting quarterback heading forward. He should be. The fairy tale story didn't get the nice ending there with the win, but there's a lot to look forward to with this Florida State team because, as noted, the offensive line was really good. After those first 2 drives, they got really beat up. Outside of the 89-yarder, they ran the ball pretty well, 175 yards on the other 47 carries. Treshawn Ward and then Tough Ali. All 3 running backs made some very good plays. They were all pretty efficient, all pretty effective as well. I wish they would have gotten Ontario Wilson more involved. Keyshawn Hilton got some good work. They had some young guys step up as well. But altogether, a lot to look forward to. Both of these teams have a big, bright future. for 2021. Florida State, seeing them clean up some things that have been plagued them the last couple of years. The offensive line, for them to be able to come into their own there and play better down the stretch. They were able to run the ball against a very tough defense after they started off very poor. Milton providing the spark. And then on defense, I was very impressed. They were able to fend off this Notre Dame rushing attack. They could not manufacture much of anything whatsoever. A lot of young DBs, though, so of course, as I mentioned, the man coverage was just getting shredded all night. But a lot to look forward to because Florida State's clearly trending in the right direction. I know they lost this game, but I was very impressed. Things that have hurt them in the past, they've certainly corrected on. I think this is going to be a fun team to watch throughout the year. And again, they're very, very inexperienced too, especially on defense. So giving up 41 points is no shame at all, especially again, as how good they were in the trenches. So I don't think Notre Dame should be concerned that much either. The first game of the season, they're trying to get that right combination on offensive line. They have the players. They have plenty of talent. Zeke Correll, Blake Fisher, as I mentioned, Jarrett Patterson, Josh Lugg. They have some really good players that have been in the program for numerous years. Fisher's a true freshman. Other than they have some real true veterans. I think when they get that rotation down, they might bottle it up, I don't know, but I think they'll figure it out on the offensive line. I'm not too concerned. But Florida State, very good in performance to start the year. A lot of building blocks to work with. Overall, one of the best games of the week, and it was very fun watching this one. Florida State also battled back from adversity. They're now, I think it was 18 points in that fourth quarter. They were able to fight back, and they held Notre Dame in check. They scored 21 in the third quarter, and they limited them to 0 on fourth. So this team fought through adversity. A very young roster doing that. It's highly impressive. I think Mike Norvell is doing a great job. It's going to take some time, but they have a lot of building blocks looking forward. They're really good on third down as well. So this is a very good team. They have a lot of potential. Outside of those 3 turnovers that Jordan Travis had, the 3 turnovers that Notre Dame scored 21 points off of, everyone else on the team, they were competitive. They were fiery. They were ready to get after it on both sides of the ball for over 60 minutes. So very impressive stuff from the Noles, even in a loss. A lot to look forward to for the rest of the season. We'll see if they can keep it up. So, leave your thoughts on the game. Leave a like, leave a comment. Plenty of Week 2 content will be coming out here shortly. Everyone have a good night.